Hey everybody, this is Mr. Nobody here, and I'm with Miss Nobody, and today I'm going to be talking about a subject that's been out for a few months. It's, should men have the right to do abortions? I'm not talking about forcing a woman on a table and having her skewered with a hanger and stuff, but talking about the men having the legal right to drop all paternity. Over in Sweden, a liberal group is actually proposing to, uh, proposing to have men have the right before the 18th week to choose whether to opt out of being a parent. In most countries, depending on the country, some countries don't do abortions. America, well, it's on and off. Some states are okay with it, and others are not. So, the question is, should males have the right in America for, or in your country, if you're from another country, have the right to opt out of parenting? I mean, there are a lot of situations out there where the woman gets pregnant and she said she was on birth control and stuff like that, but turns out she wasn't and just wanted to get pregnant. I mean, there are chances of that. There's also chances of women who will act like the perfect thing. You put the ring on their finger and everything like that. And then as soon as they get pregnant, they do a complete 180 attitude change. And because they know they have you for at least another 18 to some odd years, if depending on the state, for in the U.S. if your child goes to college, because some states require you to continue paying child support until your child graduates college, and in some states they force you to pay for your child's college as well. So with this, should men have that right? I mean, I'm speaking for the men half. Miss Nobody's going to speak for the women's half. So right now, my view is, yeah, the men should have the right. That's my opinion. Men should have the right to choose whether or not they want to be a parent. I mean, it should not be just up to the women to be able to go into an abortion clinic and get rid of the child. There should be some law that protects the men's rights as well, because there are circumstances in which a man gets played into uh, having a child, and it could be totally against the guy's wishes. So, I mean, what are you guys' views? I mean, any questions? Just leave them in the comments and try to get back to you. I mean, what are your views?
I believe if a woman gets pregnant and uh, she doesn't want the baby, I believe she should have the right to abort the baby because she's going to be carrying that baby and she's going to have to go through the morning sickness, the cravings, the stretch marks. Then she's going to eventually have to go through the contractions, the giving birth process, and she's going to either have to, have to push it out or have the surgery to get it C-section. And as for the male abortion thing, I believe men do have that right. I believe if the woman wants the baby but the man doesn't, I believe he has the right to sign away the parental rights.
Yeah. I mean, right now, as it stands, a man can't sit there and force the woman into an abortion. I mean, there are some cases where domestic violence does occur because the man doesn't want the child, and she's refusing to go to an abortion. To get an abortion. I mean, we can't force women to get an abortion. I mean, it's up to them. But at the same time, we can't force women in order, to keep the child. I mean, if the man wants the child and the woman wants an abortion, she's going to get that abortion. She's not going to consider the guy's feelings in it. And there's no, unless there's certain circumstances where you somehow get the government involved before anything. So you'd have to be a pretty powerful person to say, yeah, she's not having that abortion. But unless you're somebody well off with a ton of money and stuff like that, which then why would she want an abortion? Because, it wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, a guy can't force a woman to lay on that table and get scared. And I mean, if there was a way for, you know, for maybe a laparoscopic surgery to take the embryo out or the fetus out with, and put it in a surrogate, if we had that technology, then I can agree with, okay, she wants an abortion, he wants to keep the child, so go to the clinic, have a surrogate lined up within a certain short time frame, and switch over before the embryo gets fully interconnected into the woman's baby making system. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm familiar with female anatomy, but I just,
Uterus.
yeah,
What are you talking about?
yeah, pretty much. So, but
Oh, and I believe that life starts at conception, so I personally will never get an abortion.
I mean, unless, what if you were raped? I mean,
No, I wouldn't get an abortion.
wow, a lot of people would get an abortion
No, I
because,
believe life starts at conception.
well, to me, it would have to depend on how well you can handle PTSD, because a lot of people who do get raped and then end up getting pregnant uh, will look at that child and in a lot of cases will go back to post, that they'll have a PTSD moment and just look at their child with loathing because that child reminds them so much of the one who raped them.
I wouldn't do that. It's not the child's fault.
Yeah, it's not the child's fault, but still, it's going to always be in your mind that you did not want this child. This child was not supposed to be, but it happened. So a lot of people out there, women do have that. I mean, you hear stories about a lot of these cases with women, being raped and having these children, and then later these children either, as soon as the children are born, they go into adoption if they don't believe in abortion, or some of the children just get beat and start becoming bad eggs, or in some cases are killed because the mother had a relapse. Or in other cases, the father, he tries to be there for his woman who got got raped, and she wants to keep the kid because she doesn't believe in abortion. But then later, the all guys really, unless they're a very caring guy, 9 times out of 10, a guy does not want to take care of another woman's kids. I mean, we'll act nice, we'll do our fatherly role, but we'll never look at them as our own. And there's some resentment toward, especially sons. It's every guy's dream to have a boy. So we can get along with stepdaughters more than stepsons. For whatever reason, it's like males are, every guy looks at at another guy as a threat. Unless, of course, well, actually, yeah, no, every guy. It doesn't matter if you're straight, homosexual, bisexual. A guy is going to be offended if, another guy's involved. I mean, I will say that I'm just talking about the straight men here when it comes to looking at the stepsons. Because, I mean, there are some homosexual couples I know who adopted, or there was a son from a previous marriage or relationship, I should say, not marriage, but, before the guy admitted he was gay, because there are some of those, and they live happily. But for the straight guys, it's really more of a, debatable topic. There are some guys out there who are perfect. They seem like, they're great with children, but they'll still in the back of their mind be like, this kid's not mine. There'll be those moments where they seem to act cold toward the stepchildren, but yeah, there are cases though where a woman gets raped and the guy ends up either causing very bad domestic violence at the woman for it, or for keeping it, or at the child because it's not his, and she decided to keep it. But most times, from what I read, it's either abortion or adoption. The child usually goes. But like I said, I want to hear you guys' opinions on this. I mean, this is a big debatable topic. I'm not talking about to just you guys. I'm talking about also you women out there. I want to hear your opinion. Should guys be allowed to have male abortion, if you would, that legally denounces parenting? I mean, I'm all for it. Miss Nobody sounds like you're all for it. It's only a fair thing to do. I mean, after 18 weeks, then they're set. If a woman doesn't tell a guy until she hits after 18 weeks, and the guy should be able to go to court and fight it. It should not just be a woman's decision for an abortion. I can understand the big debate between a woman who wants one and a guy who doesn't. But that's up for the woman to decide whether or not she wants to do the whole probably 10 months. Because you got the conception, you got your 9 months, and then after that, maybe a little, a little bit of the child care, maybe, the breastfeeding and stuff like that. I'm not saying you're going to they take them and boom, I mean, but who knows? In some cases, women who don't want a child actually develops feelings for being pregnant to their unborn child. So, but again, I want to hear comments and opinions from all you YouTubers out there. I mean, this is a pretty big thing. I will have the links to a few of the sites that I got this information from. So it really is a legit topic in Sweden. I'm trying to find if it was settled or what, but I can't find anything about it. So I'm guessing it's either still going through the process or they just hung it up to dry. I'm not sure. But like I said, if somebody else can find some more about it, that'd be great. I'm kind of, I don't know. This is just a big thing. Not many people on YouTube have actually, from what I've seen, have actually talked about this subject. So, I mean, it's really up to, I guess, the lawmakers, to decide if it ever got put in, So I honestly think either men should be allowed for the to opt out, or minimum women have to have the the male figure with them as a co-signer for it. Because I mean, I was in the army and I've heard a lot of horror stories. Well, I call them horror stories. They're not really. Women who cheated on their men while they were overseas and got knocked up and had an abortion, and the husband overseas did not even know. So, and I've heard this from direct women who've done it. So, I'm not making that up. That really does happen in some cases. So, sorry guys, if you're a soldier and you hear this, my ex cheated on me when I was in Afghanistan. Okay, so believe me, I've been there, and Yeah, and then when I went to Iraq, my first deployment, my girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend, not only cheated on me, she got knocked up and then married the guy. But then I didn't know any of this. We were still talking on the phone. And then I come back, she wants everything to be all good. And then when we're in the middle of the act, she told me she's like, oh, a few weeks pregnant or something like that. And it really bothered me. I don't condone cheating. And I gave her one stipulation, which was an unfair stipulation, which was either if she wanted to be with me, she would get an abortion, or or it was over. Well, she ended up not getting the abortion, and I called it quits because, and then later I sent a videotape to her husband about the act, and he ended up getting stitches down there due to the fact that he decided to do a stupid thing and play it like a porno while they were in the middle of doing it. So she bit down, and I heard from her father, because we kept in touch for a little bit, that he had like 9 stitches down there. But so, guys, if you plan on showing proof of their, or of their infidelity, make sure it's not within the act. If you want to do it afterwards and just get that one last time in, well, that's a guy thing. Guys usually come up with something like that, but women are a lot more sophisticated when it comes to stuff. Guys, it's easy. Girl shows a piece, a girl teases, got the guy's attention. Unless, of course, you're again homosexual. Then, in that case, it's a guy does something that another guy likes. I mean, I have a friend who calls himself a bear, and his partner calls himself a cub. I don't get it, but they're happy. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few lesbian friends who are married. So I'm not homophobic at all.
Me neither. My best friend's gay, and my other best friend's bisexual.
But yeah, this world's just getting crazy with all these new type of laws and policies. So, but this is definitely one that should go up for debate. So I mean, it would change a lot. I mean, gold diggers who act like the perfect partner, all of a sudden, they get pregnant, and then they tell you, and they're keeping it, and then all of a sudden they do a 180 and want a divorce because they know they got you. And then it's not just gold diggers. Well, actually, most of the time it can be. I mean, there's someone in my family who's like that, and I'm not going to name names or indicate which type of family member they are. Let's just say, they're just a family member, and they do some shameful acts to try to get child support. So, but, all right, I guess that's going to be it for now. So I just really want to hear you guys' opinions and comments. Go ahead and do it down below. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the Mr. Nobody TV channel. And, share it. I'm going to have some of the references to the male abortion down in the description below. So go ahead and hit those links up if you don't believe me that this was an actual debate. Could still be a debate. So, all right. Is there any last words you want to say? Okay, well, this is Mr. and Mrs. Nobody out. Peace.